Picture this. It's 3 a.m. You're wide awake, staring at the ceiling, and your mind won't slow down. It's jumping from one worst-case scenario to another. What if your car breaks down tomorrow? What if your laptop suddenly stops working? What if your job disappears? Or something unexpected happens to someone you love? That quiet, heavy anxiety. If you've ever felt it, you know exactly how real it is. Now let me ask you something. What if there was a single financial milestone that could silence most of that noise? Not completely erase life's problems, but give you enough control that those late-night spirals lose their power. Most people think financial milestones are just random numbers, invented by wealthy people to make everyone else feel behind. But that's not actually true. There's real psychology behind money, and certain amounts don't just change your bank balance. They change how you think, how you feel, and how you move through life. And the first real turning point isn't $1 million. It's not even $100,000. It's $10,000. My name is John, and I spend a lot of time thinking about money. Not just how to make it, but how it affects your mindset, your confidence, and your daily decisions. And today, I want to show you why this one number can completely change your life in ways most people never expect. If you've ever wondered what it actually feels like to reach different financial levels and how those levels quietly reshape your behavior, then make sure you stick with me until the end. Now, before we talk about what $10,000 gives you, let's talk about what life feels like without it. You're standing in a grocery store comparing prices, debating whether you can afford the better option or if you need to settle for the cheapest one. Your friends invite you out, and instead of saying yes, you hesitate. Not because you don't want to go, but because you're calculating how that one dinner could throw off your entire week. This is the reality of living paycheck to paycheck. Every decision feels like pressure. Every unexpected expense feels like a threat. You're not planning your future. You're just trying to survive the present. But something interesting happens when you reach your first $10,000, and it's not what you think. It's not about buying expensive things. Most people don't suddenly change their lifestyle. The real shift is internal. It's psychological. The first thing that changes is how you see risk. When you have no savings, every decision feels dangerous. Changing jobs, moving cities, even taking a small opportunity feels risky because one mistake could put you in a very bad position. But when you have $10,000 saved, something shifts. You don't become reckless, but you stop being afraid of everything. You start thinking differently. You might finally ask for that raise. You might invest in learning a new skill. You might take a step forward instead of staying stuck. That safety net doesn't just protect you, it frees you. There's also a physical effect. When you feel financially secure, your stress levels drop. You sleep better. You think clearer. You're not constantly in survival mode anymore. Think about a small problem, like your car making a strange noise. Without savings, that's panic. You're immediately thinking about costs, debt, and how you'll manage it. With $10,000, it's still annoying, but it's manageable. And that difference between panic and control spreads into every part of your life. You make better decisions, you're more focused, you're more patient with people, you're not constantly distracted by financial stress. Here's the surprising part. The power of $10,000 isn't in spending it, it's in knowing it's there. That's what an emergency fund really is. It's not just money, it's peace of mind. Most people don't even use it for emergencies. Instead, it creates opportunities. It gives you the breathing room to think bigger, to plan, to improve your situation instead of just reacting to problems. And then there's confidence. When you know you have money in the bank, you carry yourself differently. You're not desperate. You don't settle as easily. You negotiate better. You walk away from bad situations because you can. That confidence alone can change your career, your relationships, and your future. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. $10,000 sounds impossible. But here's the truth. The hardest part isn't saving the money. It's becoming the type of person who saves. Most people treat saving like a short-term sacrifice. They try to be perfect for a few months, then burn out and fall back into old habits. But the people who actually reach this milestone change their identity. They stop seeing saving as something temporary and start seeing it as part of who they are. And once that shift happens, everything gets easier. Your first $1,000 feels hard, but the next one feels lighter. By the time you're halfway there, the process starts to feel natural. There's also a practical side to this number. $10,000 can handle most unexpected problems. Car repairs, medical bills, even a few months without income. It doesn't make you rich, but it makes you stable. And stability changes everything. It gives you time. It gives you options. It gives you space to think. Instead of asking, how do I survive this week? You start asking, how do I build something better? And that's when things really start to change. You begin to see money differently. It's no longer something that disappears every month. It becomes a tool, something that can grow, multiply, and create opportunities. That's when you start thinking about investing, side income, and long-term goals. Not because you suddenly became an expert, but because you finally have the mental space to think beyond survival. Here's something most people don't realize. Someone with $10,000 saved is often in a better position than someone who earns more but saves nothing. Because wealth isn't built by earning alone. It's built by keeping and managing what you earn. You've probably seen it. People with high incomes who are constantly broke, and others with modest incomes who quietly build stability over time. The difference isn't money, it's mindset. And saving your first $10,000 builds that mindset better than anything else. It teaches patience, it teaches discipline, it teaches you the difference between what you want and what you actually need. But maybe the most powerful change is something you don't even notice at first. It's the freedom from constant decision-making. When you're struggling financially, every small choice drains you. Every purchase requires calculation. But when you have a financial cushion, most of those decisions disappear. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, do I actually want this? That shift alone frees up an incredible amount of mental energy. And that energy can be used to improve your life instead of just maintaining it. So here's the reality. $10,000 won't make you rich. It won't solve every problem. But it will give you something far more important. Breathing room. And breathing room is where better decisions are made. It's where confidence grows. It's where opportunities begin. If you're starting from zero, don't panic. Start small. Stay consistent. Focus on progress, not perfection. Because the real transformation isn't just the money you save. It's the person you become while saving it. And once you become that person, you don't just reach $10,000. You keep going. And that's when your entire life starts to change.